Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bright Founders Talk at Temi. Temi is an international software development company that designs, builds, and delivers software for sustainable businesses and promising startups. My name is Matthew, and I'm joined today by Mr. Albert Mestre Escoda. I hope I got that right. Who is the co-founder and CEO of Intemic. How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks. Connecting from home today. I hope the Wi-Fi works good.
Thank you for joining us today. Tell me, Albert, before we start, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your role at Intemic, and a little bit about the company? What does it do?
So, I'm a chemical engineer, which got into the software world, okay? I started my career studying and working as a chemical engineer, and I realized that a lot of companies bring data from their operations and their quality control. Okay, so I was working for a consultant company, and we did the quality control of many industries, pharmaceuticals, food and beverage, oil and gas. And I realized that everyone has some data that they generate in their operations or in their quality control. And this was the reason why I decided to learn to code software, and I was motivated to start a company that offers a platform so companies can analyze this data and they can understand better their business, their operations, and how they can improve their processes. And this is the mission of Intemic. It's bringing data analysis so companies can be more sustainable, more cost effective, and bringing better quality of their products. Everything while being compliant with the regulations. So this is the concept about Intemic.
Fantastic. Lovely. We'll dive into a little bit more about that just now. What I'd like to do is take a little step backwards and let's talk a bit about your journey before Intemic. Can you tell us where it started? Did you know from a young age this is what you wanted to do? You wanted to run your own companies? You wanted to build new things? Or how did it happen? Was it accidental? Tell us about your part.
Yeah, I think initially I had no plans to create a company. I was a student in the chemical engineering degree, but in the final project of the degree, I realized that we were working in groups to do the final project, but we didn't have the right tools. That we didn't found the right software tools to analyze the data. And it was a specific problem that we were trying to solve, but I realized that I liked to solve big problems and problems that not everybody thinks in their day-to-day. So then I started learning to code, which is a very fundamental thing for building things and creating something new in terms of a digital space. And I realized that I loved to create software for solving real world problems. Then I decided that I wanted to be an entrepreneur and bring value to the people and society, but it was improvised, by the way.
Improvised. Okay. So when you say it was improvised, do you mean that you kind of built it as things were happening, as you had different influences, as things appeared? What do you mean by improvised?
I mean that it was when I entered into the job that I was working on, and I realized that it's difficult to be creative in a normal company. In the average companies, there are a lot of things to do. Everyone has their job, and there are some things that I was missing in my job, and I would like to be more creative and benefit a bit more to society in terms of, for example, being more sustainable or more efficient in the company. So there I was missing something, and I realized that being an entrepreneur, it allows you to create the solutions that you are missing in the current industry and try to have an impact and offer value, which is incredibly difficult to offer real value to other people.
That's cool. And did you have any experience beforehand with starting businesses? Did you have to find funding? Did you bootstrap the business? Did you do it yourself? How did you go about birthing this idea, getting the ball rolling and creating something physical?
The truth is that I didn't have any business experience before, and that was something that I would have benefit from it, but I didn't have this experience, so I had to learn by the way. I am a technical person who is good at engineering, is good at maths. I'm good at modeling, but I didn't had sales or business background, so I had to learn it. And at the start of the company, I was with some own resources that I could save during the years that I had worked, and I spent this little amount with a couple of software engineers that we started coding the first MVP, which was a complete disaster because we didn't know where to go and which direction. So I had very clear that I wanted to go somewhere, but I really didn't know at the first stage. So it was a complete moment of discovery. And during this moment, there is a lot of time that you spend money that it doesn't has any return because you cannot reach the MVP or what you want to achieve. So at the initial, it's difficult because of this, because it's an exploration and you are spending money on nothing but learning from the feedback and the industry. And then I got lucky because I met a couple business angels that could help the project, and I was very lucky to find these people, which is Teresa and Bram, and they helped the project as a business angels, and I could hire senior software engineers and finalize a proper MVP that could be sold.
A little bit of a learning experience for you there, but a cool journey. And then to find these angels and to get the help, it must have taken a bit of pressure off of your shoulders. Tell me about acquiring people. Now, obviously, it's very important to have the right people. You employed some senior engineers or software developers. Tell me, how do you go about making sure you have the right people in your product? It's your company, your baby. How do you take care of that?
Yeah, that's incredibly difficult. And it's something I think every company, not only startups, but also big companies, have very big challenges in getting the right talent and maintaining it. Okay, because managing people is a challenge. So initially, I thought I would have to go for the people and say, "Hey, Matt, you want to work in my project? It's this, and this." But then I realized that it's better to focus on communicating the right vision about your project and where do you want to go. And the right people will come by themselves. So they will put in touch with you, or you will meet them in the right moment. But it's very important to have a clear vision, and then people will follow. because otherwise it's very difficult to find people that support the project with motivation. I would say it's a lot of things. Also, learning to manage with people and sell your idea is very important. You have to be very focused on working with teams and ensuring that people is fulfilled, because they can be fulfilled in many areas. It can be in terms of money, but a lot of times it's in terms of personal realization and personal growth. Yeah, so you have to understand what are the needs from every people that they meet with you and they join the project, and then you have to work on that and fulfilling their needs. But it's a complete challenge, everyday challenge. Yeah.
I like that. So a couple things that you mentioned there, which I like. It's like fishing. You put the right food in the water and you'll catch the right fish. Instead of going out and asking the people, that's quite nice. And then also fulfilling people's needs. It means you have to understand people more, on a deeper level to know what they're looking for. Is this something that you were always good at, or is it something that you are still working on? Is it something you had to learn?
Well, I'm still learning every day, and I think I have a lot of things to learn yet. But it's one thing I learned in an accelerator program. I was in Valencia, in Spain. There is one incubation that it's called lanzadera. Okay, lanzadera in Spanish, it means like launching. Okay, like launching a rocket. And this incubation program is very cool because they have very good mentoring sessions, and they teach how to manage with people and teams. And they explain that you have to give and ask for return. It's always an exchange of something, okay? But it's not always money. It can be you give maybe knowledge to someone, and they will be in the team because they are learning something. But then if you give something, you can also ask for something. It can be a task, it can be a motivation from them, it can be hard work, whatever. So if you know the person and you know what are his passions, how his mind works, and how he generates dopamine during his work, then you can offer the right food for him. And it can be a lot of things. But most of the times, it's not money. And I'm pretty sure on this.
That's cool. Very nice. Do you have an office that you work from, or are you guys remote?
We work with a hybrid model. Some days from home, like today, and some days in an office in Barcelona, in the center of Barcelona. It's like a co-working space, but we have our own space in it, and it's quite flexible. So I also recommend this to the growing startups and businesses, that they can go for flexible models on offices or other assets, because not to spend a lot of money on those things. And obviously, if you are a digital service.
Yes, sorry, I think we had a bit of a delay there for a second. Tell us a little bit now about Intemic. Where are you sitting at the moment? How are you dealing with, let's say, competition? Where is the company? And then maybe you can tell us a bit about what your projections are for the future. What are some things we can look out for? Where are you going?
So the current moment about Intemic is we have now a product that it solves some problems for real companies, and specifically they are manufacturing companies that they mostly have some production lines that they want to be the less costs for them. They want to reduce the waste and emissions they generate, but they also want to maintain the product quality. Okay? So this is a challenge for them because there are a lot of factors involved and a lot of variables that they can change, and they want to observe how everything affects to the final product so they can reduce the number of failures or the number of incidents that they have. So our platform, which is a AI platform, solves that problem for them. And we have now a working product where the companies can import the historical data that they have generated during the years, and our AI platform learns specifically from their business and learns from the patterns, and then it can predict what is going to happen in the future and prevent the failures that could happen. So we have now this working product, which is the MVP, and we are working with some companies from Spain, but also with out of Spain, like Chile or Austria, for example. And we have a long roadmap based on the feedback that these users and these first customers are giving, because there are a lot of things, of course, in a first product that you don't have, and you have to prioritize what do you want to build next, because it's completely a lot of things. And we have a long roadmap because our software allows now to build the digital twin of a company. Okay, digital twin is a new concept, and it represents a company or a process digitally based on its data. Okay, so the big data from the process, it creates like a model, and this is the digital twin. So we have now plans to connect different digital twins so they can create like a representation of all their value chain from the raw materials to the final product. And then we have plans to connect multiple sources of data, okay, so they can understand different inputs of the information they generate, generating sustainability reports like a digital product passport, which is some kind of report and traceability report that ensures the quality and the sustainability of a product, and many other things that we have in the roadmap, and it easily takes 2 or 3 years. So we are in this stage.
I like the idea of that digital twin, and listening to what you're saying, the connection and analysis of old data and the predictions. It sounds like there's a lot of coding, there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes to make this work efficiently and make it work accurately.
This is a challenge. And the other challenge, which is the big challenge, is how you give trust to the people so they can trust on the solution and the results you give. And this is not only about technology, but also on communication, on personal relationships and your skills to communicate the value of this, demonstrate its results, and make them pay for the product. And this is, I think that's the biggest challenge after the technology challenge.
So I'm going to touch on a few things before I let you go. How do you manage? Because obviously there's a lot going on. We've heard now about the structure of the business, the way you get involved with people, building trust, getting the right staff, finding motivation. What about you? How do you find balance with everything that's going on around you? How do you keep your head in the right space?
Yeah, good question also. I think that's very important. Like everything in life, that there is the day and the night. You work during the day, you rest at night. So you have to find where to cut your working hours, and then perform some activities, hobbies, whatever ritual it works for you to be able to disconnect and connect with yourself, and you have to take care of yourself and keep doing those activities that fulfill you. Yeah, the reality is that you end up working a lot of hours, like a lot of people, and I think that it's also very important how you manage stress and how you manage disorder, right? Because when starting a business, everything is in complete disorder. You are not profitable. You are going to die in 4 months or whatever runway you have, and anything looks good. But if you can just chill and live with it and trust that you're going to be somewhere in 1 year or 2 that it looks better than now, I think that's very important. And you have health, you have something to eat, then it works, and everything else is secondary. So I think, yeah, that helps a lot. And having a co-founder that it also helps you and motivates, and finding the right people to work with, it also helps a lot, because yeah, you can spend more quality time while working. Okay, so I think that's very important. The work has to be like playing something. It's also playing, and playing, it can be coding, meeting with your co-founders, meeting with customers. But if it's something that you don't really like and it stressed you out, then it's important to ask if you are doing the right thing and if you enjoy it.
Fantastic. Albert, one last one. If our viewers and listeners are looking to get hold of you or are interested in your company, where can we find you?
Mostly online, as you can imagine. And our website is www.intemic.com. We also have LinkedIn, where we are very active and we post a lot of things. And we are working on our Twitter, but yeah, it's a new channel. So yeah, mostly our website and Intemic. I am LinkedIn.
Albert, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for your time. It's been a great pleasure meeting you, and we wish you all the best for the future. We'll be keeping our eye on you.